And when I finished, I walked off stage. I gave the mic to John Blismus because he was MC. And
How cool is that?
My man.
Yo.
And as I handed him the mic, he said to me, "Come back." And in the back of my mind,
You're like, I made it.
I'm Trevor Noah.
Yo.
Not even. I'm rich and famous already. I might as well just start living this life.
Hey guys, Courtnall Skosan here, and welcome to Skosan Unplugged. What's up guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host Courtnall Skosan, and today I'm very excited. We're shooting at a brand new location, Workshop 17, Studio 17 on Kloof Street, and I'm very excited about this one. I've got a very special guest for you guys to celebrate that. My man Nicholas Goliath is in the building, guys. This man is a comedian, business owner, voiceover artist. He wears many hats. I'm very inspired and I'm very honored and privileged to have him in the house. Nicholas, thank you so much for being here, brother.
Thank you so much, man. What a beautiful introduction. Hello to the Skosan Unplugged fans. I hope that you guys are good. Thank you for having me, bro. It makes me happy that I am your test subject for a new studio.
Hey.
Well done.
Well, the other day, we were sitting and we did something new. So I thought, you know what, it might be something good to do. But I'm really excited, man. You're in Cape Town, you can tell us a little bit about, what you are doing in Cape Town at the moment. And I thought it would be, an amazing opportunity for us to sit down. But first off, how are you doing?
I am good, bro. I'm good. It's I've been in a good space this year. Like last year was a bit of a tough one, 2024. And this year I've just come in with a better energy. I'm feeling in good spirits. I've been positive, and the reason I'm here in Cape Town is just to come and do some shows because I'm doing some work for Toyota next week in Hermanus. And I'm just, we were speaking a little bit off camera about just focusing on yourself, and that's my goal for this year. It's just been focusing on myself. So stop drinking, stop smoking, started training, started eating healthy, and just trying to live a better, cleaner life and do positive things in the world.
That's awesome, man. We were talking a little bit off air and we said, we don't want to talk too much.
Yeah.
But how long, you said now you stopped smoking, you said, you're doing some good stuff, making good decisions, obviously going into 2025. How long has it been, because obviously just for the audience, for people, you told me.
So look, in honesty, it's been a journey. Probably about 2 years that I've been on it now. It started with a friend of mine, Jermaine, got me into boxing.
Okay.
Because I was never about fitness and training. I'm not a gym guy. I can't just go lift weights in the gym and be bored. So I always needed something that I enjoy, and then I accidentally get fit. And then got into boxing about 2 years ago, just under 2 years, 18 months ago. And really started enjoying it. But what I found was that I was struggling because I couldn't breathe, because I was a smoker at the time. So about a year ago, just under a year ago, I stopped smoking.
Sure.
And then during that process as well, I started doing the cold showers, because everyone talks about how that heightens your brain activity and gets you thinking. So you do a cold shower. So I started doing that on a daily basis. So start normal shower and then end with just turning to cold water.
For how long?
3 minutes. 3 minutes is my target.
You're teaching me new things today.
Yo, my man. No, but you look like you have ice plunges and
ice bath, but not a cold shower.
No, you see that ice plunge. I don't know if I can do that move. That's ice blocks here. But anyway, so it's been about just habit stacking for me. So get into the boxing. I started doing the cold showers, and then understanding that I can't breathe properly because of the smoking got me to stop smoking. And in the process now, because I'm starting to feel better and feel healthier, I'm now in a space where I realize that it's not lekker to have a bubbelaas when you're healthy.
Yeah.
So now I stopped drinking as well, just to try and add to the health and fitness. And dude, it's been wonderful so far. Like I can't complain.
Welcome to the other side.
Yeah, no,
I
look at your
drinking.
gym.
I haven't been drinking since I was 21. So
boring. Boring. Used to come to FIFA night. We played FIFA, and
yes.
we would get extremely not sober. While Courtnall,
playing good FIFA. Though.
Playing good FIFA.
You and Jay together. My goodness,
machines.
you guys used to kill us.
We were machines, but even that stopped. Like we play now and again, not so much, because life takes over, unfortunately.
It gets busy.
Yeah, but for good reason. Like I always like to think about things as a time period where it was there. We did our FIFA Mondays. It was beautiful. We had a wonderful time. But now we're on to the next segment of our lives. You know, some things you have to leave behind in the past and just keep moving forward. So
100%. Sure. We'll touch a little bit on you said like 2024 was obviously a difficult year for you. We'll touch on that a little bit. But I wanted to, out of from your mouth itself, like if you had to introduce yourself and tell people what it is that you do, because you wear many hats, obviously. You do a lot of stuff. You guys are, and I've seen this from how many years ago? Like we said 14 years ago?
Yeah.
We met about 12 years ago. 13 years ago. I've seen that whole journey. But if you had to tell people, like you introducing yourself, just for everyone that's watching, maybe they haven't seen you in the last 15 years, or they don't know who I'm talking to. What would you tell them? The floor is yours.
The problem is I'm doing the 75-day hard challenge and one of the things you have to do is read 10 pages of non-fiction. So I've been doing a lot of reading, and what I've realized is a lot of people define themselves on their career. So I can go, I'm Nicholas Goliath, I'm a comedian, but I'm not. Yes, I'm a comedian, I tell jokes, but I'm also a father, a husband.
Yes.
I do a lot of other things. And I don't want my career to define who I am. So I've strangely been thinking about this, and I find it a very difficult question to answer. If I had to introduce myself, I'm Nicholas Goliath, comedian, the same way Courtnall did. Comedian, voiceover artist, father, husband, son. I like to say all-round nice guy, I think.
Definitely.
Someone who believes in spreading happiness in the world and just wants to see everybody win. That's who I am. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And I like that about you. And I think that's the thing that I gravitated towards you guys so much is you and Jay. While you guys were building all of this and became like the most known people in South Africa, like for me, you guys were still, we still played FIFA, each plays on a Monday. So, that's the thing. And I just want to say, what, I've been proud to be associated to you guys. I've been inspired and I still am inspired, and it's amazing for me to be associated and know people like you guys that I can look up to. I can see what it looks like to build success and still remain humble, because that for me, I said it the other day when we talked, for me, humility is a massive thing, so it's nice to have good examples out there that I can gravitate. They always say, show me your closest people, and I'll show you what your future or who you are, So I feel like that for me is, you guys are that. You guys are part of that for me, and it's amazing for me to be associated with you in that regard.
I love it, man. I appreciate it. And likewise, bro. Like, it's you, my man, you played for the Volker. In my mind, I go, you are the celebrity that's humble, that's, and I appreciate that you go, most recognized in the country. But, I always find it strange that people always think when you get to I don't want to say level of fame, because I hate thinking of myself as famous. But when you get recognizable enough, there's always this sentiment that you become a different person, you act different. And the more I've gotten to that space, the more I realize that it's not us that acts different, it's the people around us that start treating us different because they have an assumption of who you should be because you've achieved whatever you've achieved in your life. And I just go, like, so many people go, oh, now that you're famous, you don't have time for us. And I'm like, no, I'm paying my bills. Like, it's not, I'd love to spend time with you, but, sometimes I have to work. And sometimes a big thing that I realized was that work now is not Monday to Friday. There's days that I work, days that I don't work. And sometimes those days that I work, it's a public holiday, it's a birthday in the family, it's an anniversary, it's, so it becomes difficult to be the person you were and trying to become the person you want to be.
100%.
But I love it, man. I love that we understand that you can stay who you are and be true to who you are and still achieve greatness. And those who want to come with, please, that's what I want. I want to be with my friends, with my family. I don't want to get to a place of success and greatness and then I'm all by myself. I feel like that could be the worst thing to experience.
Yeah, that takes me to the quote where they say success is a lonely road. And I'm like, no, like, it's, that's not how I see it. I see it as a community. Like, that's what it's all about. So I like all the stuff you said now, it's exactly how I look at it. Like the old people changing around you and all of that. But I want to track back, like to the beginning, obviously. You guys have built all of this success. But before Goliath and all of that success, like, what was life like before that? And can you tell us the story of how it went from what it was to what it is today?
Yeah, so, okay, my story before comedy, I was a call center agent. I was, okay, let's go back, to matriculating. No idea what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go and study, if I wanted to go and study. But I had that mother that was like, you will go and study.
Yeah.
Either you're going to study or you're going to work. I knew I didn't want to work, so I was like, cool, let me go and study. All my friends were going to study, and I didn't know. Like I said, my degree, I chose like this with a pen on a page.
What was it?
And then it looked, and it said, the first one was engineering, and then I looked at my matric results, and they were like, no engineering for you. So then I had to do it again, and I ended up going into my first course I tried was marketing communication.
Okay.
Went to university, got there, realized that they don't take a register in the class, and they don't phone your parents if you don't go to class. And because I grew up quite sheltered, I wasn't the lighty that was going to parties, and like my parents kept me very, I don't want to say locked up, but they kept me safe and secure. So I wasn't used to that amount of freedom, and then I took full advantage and never got a degree because I was spending all my time on the grass with the bras, nice times. And then that's how I eventually ended up in a call center where I hated it. I hated every single day of my life because at that time I was living for the weekend. Monday to Friday was, I'd get through the week just to get to the weekend so I can have nice times with my friends and party and drink. And, there's no future focus. It was just about what are we doing now? What's the next move? And that went on for years. Eventually, my wife, girlfriend at the time, fell pregnant, and we had our first kid, and that kind of changes the focus when you have a kid in your life. And at that time we were both still working, everything was fine, but I was just that guy. Like from school days, I was the bra that my bras were always telling me, you've got to get on stage, you must, because I was always making comments. Teacher will say something in class, I make a comment here, we all burst out laughing. Now I must stand outside for the rest of the class. So eventually, I tried comedy. What happened is Jason and I had a conversation on a Mother's Day. And he'd gone through a process of, he'd owned an insurance brokerage. They did some business with the wrong people who kind of screwed him over. And he was in a situation where he'd lost basically everything. And he was feeling down and depressed because of his situation. I was down and depressed because I wasn't happy with my work environment. And he'd also just come off of doing a big campaign on TV for a beer brand. And a crew on set said to him, hey, bro, at the end of the shoot, they said to him, we've never laughed so much on set before. You should try comedy. And he was like, nah, comedy is a different thing. It's like I'm braai funny, not stage funny. You can make the Owens laugh here, but getting on stage. And they're like, no, calm down, bro. No one said you must go beat Trevor Noah. They just said, go and try it. Do we think it's something you'd like? And Mother's Day, he comes, and we had lunch at my mom's place, and we were sitting, and he was telling me the story, and I was like, hey, bro, it's something I'd love to do. Let's try. And we had a couple of drinks in us, and he's like, yeah, let's do it.
Go.
The next day, Monday morning, I pick up the phone Tafia from WAC Management. They used to run the underground in Melville, make the booking, and she gave me so much stress because I asked for 2 spots, and she just went in on me about, you guys think this is a joke, it's a game, it's serious stuff. And for like 15 minutes, she just nailed me on taking this thing seriously. And I was like, cool. Phone Jason, I'm like, hey, bro, cool. This is the date they've given us. He's like, what are you talking about? So I'm like, nah, we spoke yesterday about comedy. I made the call, and we're going to do this. He's like, no, bro, we're drinking. You can't hold me accountable for... I was like, bro, there is no way I'm phoning this woman back to cancel after what she just put me through. I'm like, whatever you need, we're going to make it happen, but I'm not canceling. And 6 weeks. We had 6 weeks from the time I made the call. The 3rd of July 2011 was the first time we jumped on stage together. And as they say, the rest is history. We just fell in love with that thing. Like that first roar of laughter from the audience. We were hooked. It's like a drug. Like I can't explain it. And now, 14 years later, still doing the thing. And it is the most rewarding thing I could ever be doing with my life. I love it so much.
That's crazy, man. I wanted to ask you about the first gig, like, was it like a lot of nerves? Was it like, how do you prepare? Let's go to that actually. Like, how did you guys, so now you made the call, and now you have to, do you write something? Because no, or do you have all the jokes in your head? Like, how does it work? Like, take me back to that. Take me through those 6 weeks.
For the future comedians, for those of you that are sitting and watching this and you want to do a comedy, let me give you some advice that I was not given.
Oh, wow.
Because like, in my mind, so my inspirations in comedy locally were Joey Rasdeen and John Vlismas.
Okay.
They were the first two comedians I saw do live stand-up comedy. And their styles were very similar in that they make it look very conversational. Like everything's just off the top of they're just speaking. They're just funny bras that are just speaking to an audience. So in my mind, that's what comedy was.
Yeah.
Like just a bra that gets on stage and is funny and can say anything at any time. Lekker. So I went in, I'd never forget, I told Jason and Don one day, I want to be known as the comedian who never tells the same joke twice. Because in my mind that was possible. Yeah, it's not possible. Just tell you, it's not possible. Well, maybe it is. Let me not put people off. Maybe you can do it, but good luck. It's very difficult. And it was so. My first time to answer the question is I got on stage with no plan. I had no idea what I was going to talk about. I had no idea how comedy worked. I didn't realize that I had to have 5 minutes written and understand what I'm going to say when I'm going to say it. So I can't tell you what I said on my first set. I know that it worked.
Off the top, just improvisation.
Just off the dome, straight. I went in, I spoke to the audience. I'll never forget, I had on a t-shirt that said, are you free tonight or is it going to cost me? And
that obviously...
I started there were two ladies in the front. I remember saying, are you free tonight or is it going to cost me? And then she pointed to her boyfriend and I moved to the next one. And I was like, are you free tonight? And then she answered, and then the audience burst out laughing. And from there, I just remember they're having fun, talking, getting them laughing. And when I finished, I walked off stage. I gave the mic to John Vlismas because he was MC. And
how cool is that?
My man.
Yo.
And as I handed him the mic, he said to me, come back. And in the back of my mind,
you like, I made it.
I'm Trevor Noah. I'm not even, I'm rich and famous already. I might as well just start living this life. And the weird thing was I didn't invite anybody. Like I invited very few of my friends.
Because obviously you didn't want them to come and judge you.
Then I smashed the first one, booked the next gig, and I'm confident now. So I'm like, I invite everyone, mother, father, cousins, friends.
The yellow neighborhood.
Your biggest mistake, my friend. Yo. I took it straight in the teeth.
Sure.
Because I also, again, didn't plan anything. Thought I'm just going to come and speak nonsense. I remember leaving the stage saying to the audience, you guys are a cuck audience. That was how I left my second time on stage.
Sure.
And as I've developed in comedy, I also realized that it's never the audience. It's always you. You're always in control. To answer the question, write 5 minutes of material. And the advice I give to young comics is write things that you find funny. Don't write about what you think the audience wants to hear or what you think they're going to find funny. If something makes you laugh, write that down. Explain that story. Explain how you got to a point of laughter. And explain that to the audience. And if you do it the right way, they'll fall in love, they'll laugh with you. But no, it's so important to know what you're going to be saying.
Sure. And then there's one thing I wanted to ask you. Like, obviously, I know when I go to a comedy show, I sit right at the back in the corner. Donovan used to always catch me right in the corner and make his jokes there. But is there unwritten rule or something about the people that are sitting in it? Because you guys always roast them. And, sometimes those roasts, it's you understand them, but is it an unwritten rule? Is it something that you guys plan for? Or is it just like off the cuff? You see someone, whoever you spot is like, okay, as a joke.
So look, it depends. There's different types of hosts. There's the one host who just comes and does material. So they get up on stage, they don't engage with the audience. They just do what they've planned to do through the night, which is fine. Everybody's safe. For me personally as a host, I love the engagement with the audience. I love speaking to people, finding out who they are, what they do, where they're from, whatever. And the reason we come to comedy is to laugh. So, and I tease people. I tease because I've been teased my entire life. That's why I can deal with it, and I try and set it up for the audience so that people don't feel like they're being attacked, because you must never feel, comedy is about love, and you've always got to feel that love in the room. So I always try and set it up to go, I'm not here to offend you, I'm going to tease you, I'm going to tease your hairstyle, I'm going to tease your outfit, I'm going to tease whatever, but it's for entertainment purposes, and if you're offended, just understand that that's not what the point is. Like,
but it's also okay.
It's okay. Like, and it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I say. You've got to know who you are as a person, and just be confident and comfortable with yourself. But yeah, if you sit in front, there is a chance you're going to get teased if you make a nuisance of yourself, if you're loud, if you're heckling. Then yeah, we're going to go in on you because we have the microphone and we at work. It's like me coming onto the rugby field and trying to tackle you while you're playing. No, I'm not supposed to be this. Don't come and try and tackle me while I'm doing my job. You know, so yes, we roast everybody, but it's purely out of love.
Yeah. That's cool, man. And then obviously, like, this is all the fun stuff, all the good stuff. You talked about all the success and the rest being history of what you guys have done. But there's always tough times. There's always, like, challenges. There's always stuff. Maybe something going wrong on the stage, you know, all of that kind of stuff. How do you guys deal with that? And do you have, like, a story that, you know, that can give people a bit of perspective of what that maybe look like?
Yeah, man. You know, life is... We are... just like everybody else. We are the same as an accountant, as a teacher, as a doctor, as whoever. We have drama in life. Things go wrong, things don't work out. In terms of just like stage time, I think my biggest lesson, I've never spoken about this on camera, but I did a corporate event for a big brand. And it was early in my career, probably about 3 years in. And we went to Sun City for a 3-day conference, and it was beautiful. And we'd done the conference the year before, so I knew kind of what the vibe was. And you know, the conference during the day, party in the evening, conference during the day, party in the evening, that type of thing. And I promised myself that I'm not going to go to the party. If I don't need to be there, I'm not going. And we did conference day 1, didn't go to the after party. Conference day 2, they needed us to do some announcements and stuff at the after party. And we get there, and people are late, so they're like, no, I have some dinner, I have a drink, and, you know, fine, we get involved at the dinner, and I said, you know, Jay and I together, like, let's have a rum and coke while we're preparing, and ask the event coordinator for rums and drinks for us, and get involved. And every time the drink is halfway, here's 2 more rums on the table, and here's 2 more and 2 more. And before we knew it, we were in the party. It was whatever was supposed to be happening, we forgot about. And, you know, it got so hectic that it got to a point where somebody tapped Jason on the shoulder and said, hey, maybe it's time to take your brother back to the room. You know, and at that time, I was still coming with that cool sentimentality of just nice times and parties and free drinks and whatever. And I never got a call from that client again. That was the last time I ever worked for them. But it was also the last time I ever made that mistake of crossing the line between work and play. And realizing that, yes, they're having a good time, but I'm here working. So that, I think, is one of the big things that I had to deal with. And yeah, it was a big, hard lesson to learn, because it was a really good client that I would have loved to have kept on the books. But learning the lesson has taught me how to keep other clients on the books, what I need to do. And now I can share that information with other comedians or people coming up, so that they hopefully don't make the same mistakes.
Sure, that's powerful, man. And thanks for sharing. Obviously, you're saying it's the first time you shared that, you know, that's obviously quite deep. But thanks for that.
No, that thing sits with me. I wake up in the middle of the night going, Still,
That's tough, man. That's tough.
But we have to learn, bro.
100%. It's the only way it happens, you know. Like, you go through stuff like that and you realize, okay, cool. You know, I remember a story. We were on tour, and it's similar. I also haven't told anyone this story before, you know, like, but we were on tour, went out the evening, and, you know, I wasn't playing, but we're training, you know, the next day. Got in like weird hours of the morning. And then training, just jumped for a ball, like literally normal, like kicked the ball, it bounced high. I jumped, came down, twisted my ankle. I'm talking about, this is like, what is it now? 2014, 15, if even it could be earlier than that. So we're talking about 10 years ago now. Twist my ankle, out. Injured, 2 to 4 week injury. And I'm thinking to myself, if I didn't go, I don't drink, right? So what was I doing out that hours of the morning?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm like, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
And then you make those mistakes and you realize, listen, this is now putting me out for 2 to 4 games. So
Yeah.
I'm missing games, which means it influences me for the next thing going
Yes.
forward, you know. So you said a little bit about, you know, like what you've been inspired by when it comes to your comedy and stuff like that. But now, me as a rugby player, I'm trying to picture this, have this picture in my mind. I've got a game day routine. So when I wake up, or the day before, it starts like a few days before, so like 2 nights before I need to sleep well,
Yeah.
8 to 10 hours. The night obviously also important, but I go to bed a bit later because I like to wake up late in the morning.
Yeah.
So my day must be short towards the game. So I don't want 10 hours towards the game, I want 4 or 5 hours towards the
Yeah,
game. So
yeah,
I would
makes
rather
sense.
wake up, straight up, breakfast, shower, clear and game to.
Yeah.
That's my vibe, you know. So I've got a set routine. Is a specific underwear that I'm wearing, or
Yeah.
if
The
I have
lucky
something,
underwear, the one with a hole in the
what does
back.
that look like for you when it comes to, like, you know, like your game day? Obviously, when you have a set the night and you're performing,
Yeah.
you know, or you have a gig that you have to MC, or that you have to do a speaking engagement, or
Yeah.
what does that look like?
You know, so I used to do like the resting during the day and just prepping and, you know, going through my set during the day and
Yeah.
planning out what I'm going to do, what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But as time's gone on, I've thankfully started becoming more busy, and you know, my days are not so easy to say what's going to be happening. So I think I don't really have a routine that I go through. I think my routine more starts at the gig, or on my way to the gig, where I start focusing, because there's so much happening. Like, I do voiceovers, I do a little bit of acting, I do a little bit of business side. So, you know, I deal with whatever I have to do during the day. I've got my wife and my kids that I need to sort out as well.
Yeah.
And generally what I do is, when I get to the event, that's when I start my routine, where I now want to look around, see who's in the room, what type of people are we dealing with. If it's a lineup show, like a public show where every other acts are performing, I want to see how they're doing, listen to what their material is, see how the audience is reacting to that. If it's a corporate gig, then I like to do a little bit of research on the business, just to try and understand, you know, who they are as a business. Generally, we have a briefing where they tell me, okay, cool, the event that we're doing is an awards, it's kick off for the year, it's a year end, whatever, and then kind of try and include their business messaging into my messaging, where I'm going to be emceeing and doing comedy. So there's no real routine. It's more just, I think it's more a mental routine, just, you know, kind of thinking about what I want to do, how it's going to go. But I have no lucky underwear. I hope for the best, and you know, it's just, I think I'm just so appreciative of the thing, man. It's, I know that doesn't have anything to do with the question, but it just popped into my head now. But no, there's no routine. Like, I think over the years the routine has gone. Like, in the first few years, I'd be sitting in the morning writing down my set. Go, this is where I'm starting, this is what I'm doing, which is a great way as a new comedian to just get yourself prepared, and so that you're ready, so that because sometimes something will happen in the audience and you hit a blank on where to go next. So it's nice to have the points to go, okay, hey, from here I must go into this joke. But now I think that my experience is enough where if something happens and I get distracted from what I'm talking about, it's very easy for me to then just pull something else in. I've also got enough material now to just pull something else in and try. So
that's cool, man. That's cool. I think I had this conversation with someone as well, you know, the whole conversation on experience, like how we don't understand how much experience does for you until you have experience, you know, like, so when people tell you, no man, you'll still learn when you're younger, you're like, hey, wach, you know, like,
I want to know now.
But then when you have the experience, it's like you're saying now, you're just tapping into the memory bank, and you're like, I've seen this before, I've done this before, and you just tap into it. And I think it's quite nice, you know, like, obviously you get that as you go, but it's a nice thing to tap into, because now, like you said, your preparation is not as intense as it was before, because you've done it thousands of times before.
Look, and in honesty, I feel like it should still be as intense. Just depends on the level you want to get to. Like, if I want to get way better, I should be doing a lot more work. But I'm comfortable. I'm content. I don't want to say content, because content feels like
you've reached.
And it's I want more, but I also enjoy the fact that I get to spend time with my family, with my friends. You know, just doing what I need to do without just focusing on work.
Yeah.
Because I always want comedy to be just a passion thing. I never want it to be my primary source of income or the thing that I focus on all the time. So I enjoy it.
I think that's also, takes me to the next thing. And for me, like as rugby players, when we have conversations, we talk about like everything can't be rugby. You know, like we need to do stuff that takes our mind off the game, because, you know, like preparing for a game is obviously a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, a lot of emotion that goes into it. So probably a little bit different, because you're saying now like you go and you enjoy yourself talking and engaging with people and stuff. But is there a picture like with us as sports people where you also have your escape away from what you do as work or stuff every day? Is there stuff that you do for fun, like maybe golfing or something like that? Like, what does that look like for Nicholas? What do you do outside of all the hats that you have to put on? Is there another hat where you're like, okay, today is I'm putting
Family
on the fun
guy.
hat, or you know?
No,
like,
so no, you have to. Like in any industry, I think it doesn't matter what you do. You can't just be your job. So for me, I've always loved playing pool. So I go either with my friends, with Jay, with my father. Now my eldest is starting to enjoy pool as well.
How old is he now?
16, bro. He's just 16. My man.
It's a big man, that.
My man.
Yo.
It's a deep voice in my house.
Yo.
Another man in my
Good
house.
man.
Yo. So I love the family time. My youngest has become a huge car fanatic. So wherever there's like kind of an auto show or whatever, we try and do those things. And then just like basic family stuff, man. We love going to play some adventure golf, have a meal. You know, if I'm out with the family, then I got my two best friends who got me into this bloody 75-day hard challenge. I'm starting to see the difference in my body, so at least
What
it's
day
working.
are we at now?
53.
Sure, almost there.
Yeah. No, end of the month. End of the month.
Almost
28th is the last day, which I'm really looking forward to. It's completely changed my life. But those are my. So that's the thing. If I'm out with my family, then I'll be with my gents, and we just simple things like going to a braai, going out for a dinner. Because my one friend is a business owner, my other friend is a digital creator. You know, so we have such different experiences of life and work, and it's nice to just feed off of each other and realize that we're all kind of on the same track, just doing different things. But yeah, that's my vibe. Just I love peace and I love entertaining. So. Come to my house. We have a braai, we have a chill.
Now that we know, vibe. Remember that we had that, what was it, the braai on, was it New Year's Day? Where everyone went to Jay's place and we had like this whole, it was Nolan and everyone. Like,
yes,
it was like,
the whole squad.
And
that's our thing, man. You know, entertaining, anything that's going to make people have a good time. That's my vibe,
That's cool, man. That's cool. And now, in rugby, and I'm trying to connect it because I'm trying to understand as well. So I'm also trying to learn what your industry looks like and what what it looks like for you in the future as well. In rugby, I've been playing for 15 years now. So eventually, I would have to find my way out of the sport into my new normal. That whatever is next, you know, it could be this for the rest of my life. It could be something else, you know. Like, what does that picture look like for you? You know, like, or is it I do comedy until the wheels fall off, or is there a next thing? Is there like a, is there something that you have to transition to, or is this, how does it work in your industry?
So I think the nice thing with comedy is that we don't have like a cutoff. There's no, when the knees go, then we walk slower to the stage, but we can still get on stage. So there's comedy is something that I want to do forever, as long as I can get up and do the thing I want to get up and do it. But in terms of transitioning, because like I said earlier, I don't want it to be comedy is not my main source of income. I do it purely for the love of comedy. I make my money from corporate work, from campaigns, doing stuff with brands, whatever. And I think the transition is to get to a space. We had the comedy club, which I thought at the time, the comedy club would be the thing that
the one in Melrose.
That you would fall into, if comedy ever became slow, that's the thing that's always there. But like I was saying about, you go through these periods where things change, and the comedy club was an era that we loved. We had so much fun. It did so much for us, for the brand, for the industry. But it's also a time that's passed now, and we're on to a different thing. So I think with us, what makes it easier for us is that we've got the business behind us. So not only are we the comedians, but we're also doing corporate work. We're also doing digital work with a couple of brands, you know. So we've got the back end of, even if comedy falls apart, we've still got production, we've still got advertising, we still, you know, that we can fall back on. And I think that's the main thing, is just to have something that even when all stages close, we can still do. Like when COVID came, we did that Goliath Go Live.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. We're also lucky in the fact that we have access to so many different avenues in the entertainment
100%.
industry.
You guys are literally everywhere.
Yeah, because I've done like some acting, I've done voice work, I even done some radio stuff where I was a co-host on a radio show. I've no radio experience, but because I'm a comedian and I can speak to people and my voice doesn't sound too bad, they're like, okay, cool, come and try out. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And I think the people are probably like, yo, die man kan ons heel dag praat.
No, and I hate my voice. Even now, I hate hearing my voice.
It's unique. It's unique.
I believe so. People have told me, but I hate it, man. Like I record so many of my shows and then I don't watch or listen because I'm like, I don't like seeing myself. I don't like hearing myself. But yeah, so there's no real. The nice thing is I get to decide where I want to go. So if I want to go into radio, I can focus my mind and go, cool, I'm going to focus next year on radio or TV, any of those things. But I think the most important thing is understanding where you want to go, what you want to do. And yeah, because there's so many options, it's a bit of a difficult one to decide. But we keep pushing.
It's a blessed position to be in.
Beautiful.
Like, it's very blessed. And then obviously, like on that now, I'm thinking as you're speaking, like you do so many things. And the question that pops up in my head was is this just purely talent-based? Like God just blessed you with all of this? Because you do a lot of stuff and you do it very well. You know, or is this things that you've developed and kind of like, you know, learned or taught yourself along the way? Was there a mentor? Was there, you know, like how do you do so many things and you do it so well? Because I think there's a lot of people out there that think, I want to be a comedian. Yeah. I want to be an amazing comedian, but not a good business person. But you doing the business, the advertising, the digital, the acting. Yo, like, tell me, because I want to tap into something like that also. I can't just be a rugby player and then just do this and then just do that 3 things. You're doing like 10, 11
no,
things.
Bro,
like,
don't try and be like me. Be the best you can be.
But I want to learn like how
do
we tap into it?
I appreciate that. But my first advice to people is always just be the best you can be. Like, do what you do. I honestly, I don't know. I've been blessed with gifts that I didn't know that I had. The humor was just a thing that's in me, that's been in me. I come from a very funny family. I surround myself with funny people. So the comedy's always been there. The other things I do comes from having a strong support system. The business stuff, I'm terrible at business, bro. I'm not the one that goes and sits in the boardrooms. We have Jason, who's our business, our negotiator. That's our guy. And I understand my role within the business, that if somebody's gone and negotiated a deal and made a plan for us to get the gig or to do the project or whatever, I'm on the ground, you need things set up, that's my role. That's where I come in, because I understand that the people who've done the work in my team to get us to this point where it's my turn to work now, I can't let them down. I have to make sure. It's like you coming in here and not being ready for your podcast. When people have set up cameras, they've set up sound, you know, people, they've come from their homes, they've put in the effort, booked the space, whatever, and then you don't come and deliver. So like that for me is the most important thing, is understanding that it's not just me. Yes, when you see me on stage, I'm by myself. When you see me on an ad, it's me, and I kind of get the recognition and the fame and the whatever. But I don't get it if I don't have a team around me. Surrounding myself with the right people, I think, is the most important thing for me. And people who are driven and who have your best interest at heart, which in business these days is a nearly impossible thing to find. So I also understand how blessed I am to have the people I have around me that allow me to do these things and motivate me. Because, like I said, I hated the sound of my voice, and then people are like, no, bro, go and do voiceovers. You'll be okay at this thing. And I went and I did a couple of voiceovers, then I realized, oh no, I am actually quite good at this thing, and now I really enjoy it. I love it. So all of the things I've tried in my life, I've never 100% believed I could do it until I was motivated by those who I know care about me, and that's the blessing that I have in my life. Not so much the talent, but that I have people that will go and do it, give it a try. And yeah, I've just never been scared of anything. So when people say try it, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, let's give it a go.
You did your first gig, you phoned
What's
6
the
weeks
worst
later.
that can happen? I'm gonna die on stage. They're gonna not laugh at my jokes. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's fine.
You've got nothing to lose. That's powerful, man. That's a cool way to look at it. Now, you guys obviously, we'll get a little bit in. Like, this is the last as we close off. The Happiness Economy podcast. You guys obviously wearing the T-shirt. You're obviously proud about it. And we're doing a podcast at the moment, so we'll talk about that now. But the one main thing that you guys focus on is like gratitude, and how gratitude plays a role. Obviously in what you are doing or how you're building, your life or building success. Like, what does that look like for you? Like, all the stuff that you are doing, gratitude or being grateful. What are you most grateful for, and how does that play a role in your life?
Dude, I'm most grateful for my mindset. Because my mindset allows me to be open to try new things, to do new things, to see the world differently. If you met me just before comedy, 15 years ago, I'm not the type of person you would have wanted to spend time with. You wouldn't have wanted to be a friend of mine. Because I was I don't want to say I was a terrible person, but I was judgmental. I was just not a nice person. I was just selfish, and I realized that came from the friends that I surrounded myself with at the time. That was just all of our mentality. So you don't, in that space, I was never grateful for anything. It was that victim mentality where whenever things don't work out in your life, it's not me, it's your fault. I didn't get the job. It's your fault I didn't do what I was supposed to do. It's my parents' fault that I didn't study, And then being able to move from that space, and I think comedy gave me the gift of just experiencing people differently and giving me the ability to change my mindset. And I think that the thing that I'm most grateful for, like I say, is that ability to change my mindset and understand that I create my happiness. I create my world around me. And if I don't make the right decisions, then obviously I'm going to be miserable in life. Obviously things are not going to work out because I'm doing things I read a book recently that said we make decisions either out of fear or out of love. And I realized that in my past, so many of my decisions were fear-based, whereas now, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I try and make sure that all of my decisions are love-based. Like, whatever the decision is, I do it because I want to do it, because it's a positive, it's the right thing to do. And I'm so grateful that I have that ability to understand those things, because I look at so many people who go through life with that victim mentality, and you just never get to take control of your life. Like, for the first time, I'm excited. That's why I've started the training and this Living Clean, because for the first time I realized if I make decisions to build my body and my mind, I can be anything and do anything.
The world
I'm like,
amazing.
Okay, I can't play rugby professionally because I'm too old now, but I mean, I can do things that I was never able to do before. And I love it. I love it. It excites me to be able to know that my mind is my power. So that's the thing that I'm grateful for, is the opening of my eyes to the fact that it's nobody's fault. Whatever situation I'm in, nobody's to blame but me. And I just go, I don't want to be blamed. I want to show my kids that I tell them all the time, you can be and do whatever you want to be and do. And then I myself go, oh no, I can't do that. No, I can't. How can I tell you can do the thing, but so I must show them. And that's what I'm creating. This is a very long answer.
No, I love it. I can see you're very passionate about it. You've got a smile on your face. You go, that's powerful, man. Yes. And I love that. I really love that. And like this tell us a little bit about your podcast, like why you guys started it, what it's all about, where people can find it, like what they can expect from it. Like, what, the floor is yours. Like,
So, man, our podcast is called the Happiness Economy Podcast. And it came from COVID, where business stopped. A hard stop when lockdown happened. And I went from a space where I was planning to pay my house off that year that COVID came, and then I went from, okay, I'll pay my house off, but during this year to, how am I going to put food in the fridge, within a couple of weeks? And it terrified me. And then Jay and I got into this the habit of speaking about the things that make us happy, and what comedy's been able to do for us. And Jason had this equation in his mind which I think a lot of us have, and the equation is that success equals happiness. That's what everybody will tell you. When I get the big job, when I get the big salary, when I get the big house, then I'm going to be happy. Because success equals happiness. But then we realize that there's so many people that are doing so well, so successful in life, or perceived to be so successful and happy, and then they're doing crazy things. Like the suicide rate in these people is so high, and the depression rate is so high, and we could never understand. Then we realized that the equation is not wrong, we're just looking at it the wrong way. If success equals happiness, then surely, as maths has taught us, the equal sign works both ways. So then if success equals happiness, then surely happiness equals success. And if you chase the happy, then surely success has to come. But nobody teaches us how to chase the happy. Nobody teaches us what happy is, how to find the happiness. And a lot of people, during the podcast, we've learned, like, a lot of people see happiness as a different thing. Some people see it as peace, some people see it as love, some people see it as just contentment. But whatever your idea of happiness is, if that's what you chase, so like for us, comedy makes me so happy. Being on stage is the thing that I love the most, because I get to spread happiness. I get to put smiles on people's faces. And that's where the podcast came from. The fact that we realized that if you chase the thing that makes you happy, you have to be successful at it, because it's easier to do a thing that you love, that you enjoy. But what's difficult is knowing what that thing is. And because nobody teaches us, they teach us how to save for retirement, they teach us how to study so that you can get a good job, they teach us how to work hard so that you can maintain your job or your career, but nobody goes, hey, this is the thing that makes you happy, or go out into the world looking for things that make you happy. And we're like, we found this information, and then it's just the type of thing that we feel like you have to share. So we interview different guests. Courtnall was one of our guests, and
looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and the whole thing is that we interview people that we perceive as being happy based on what they put up on social media, or our interaction or engagement with them. And it's just to break down, are you happy? Where does it come from? How did you learn about it? What do you do when you're feeling low? How do you get yourself back up, so that we can start educating people to go, you don't have to look on social media at what your friend is doing or at what we're doing, and go, I need to get a new car, I need to get a new house. Doesn't matter. Maybe you're the type of person that just wants a small house, but you use all your money to travel. Beautiful. We're so busy trying to make everybody else think a certain way about us that we forget what we actually want. And now you buy these expensive clothes and expensive car and big house to impress your family, because they always thought you were going to be the useless one in the family. You were the troublemaker. Now you're like, I've got a big house, big car. But it doesn't make you happy. That's not what you want. So, it's just trying to change people's perspective on what happiness is and how to achieve happiness. And we have some beautiful guests that share some insightful, deep information that just... It's go and check it out. Watch one episode. Either you're gonna like it or not. It's okay if you don't also. But I think it's something positive, and that's all we want, is just to spread some positivity. So the Happiness Economy Podcast, we do a live show as well, which is where the T-shirt comes from. But it's just about happiness, guys. That's it. Go. If things are great in your life, check it out. We can maybe add. If things are not going well in your life, check it out, because maybe we can help you. But yeah, that's about it.
Sure. Hey, in that note, guys, that was an amazing episode. Nicholas, brother, I can't say thank you enough. I really appreciate it. I know you say you don't like, always being in front of the camera or doing this type of stuff, but I think this was an amazing conversation. I took a lot out of it as well, even the other day, like I tell you. And I think, it comes down to that whole thing of rub shoulders more, and you get those good vibes. And
I really, you surround yourself
I appreciate you, brother. Like I said, you inspire me, you all inspire me, but you here in front of me now, I want to honor you and I want to say, I appreciate you. You inspire me, and I think, you guys are doing something amazing. I think we need more of the good stuff, even though everyone else, we were talking off air now, everyone else might be focusing on other things, might be chasing other things, we want to make a change. We want to bring impact. And I think, those are the things that are lasting. Whenever impact and change is going to be the hot topic, it's not about that, but I'm saying whenever people catch on to it, we'll be there. We'll still be there, and that's amazing for me. So I just want to say, I appreciate you. I want to say thank you for making the time for this. I know you're a busy man and you travel all the time. So, the schedule's just aligned perfectly. And I feel like that's how God works, and
that's
I just want to...
all coming together.
I want to say thank you, brother. I just want to honor you, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for doing this. There were moments where I got a bit emotional there. I don't know if you could hear. But what a beautiful conversation, man. And I'm so grateful that I could be here, that things worked out the way they did. And likewise, you're an inspiration, and I wish you all of the success and all of the greatness, and may your message be spread to the world. You are an inspiration as well, bro. Don't ever forget it, and just keep going. And you got the wife who's the influencer. You're going to be quite fine. You guys are going to kill it. Yes,
Stick together. Guys,
choose the right people to surround yourself
100%,
with.
100%. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe it with someone if you're out there. If this is your first time, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you on the next one.
Okay, bye.
Yo, meneer. That was fire.